There is one navigation display for each pilot, and it is normally displayed on the inboard display unit. The NDs provide a display of traditional compass information, navigation information, and also a full view of the FMGS route. The EFIS control panel allows the pilot to select one of 5 desired modes on the ND. Select each of the modes now to get a preview. Some display items appear on all ND modes. For example, the ground speed and true airspeed supplied by the ATARIS appear as shown. You can also see the true wind direction, the wind speed, and an arrow that displays magnetic wind direction whenever the wind speed exceeds 2 knots. A white chronometer indication can display elapsed time in the location shown. The chronometer is controlled by the chrono push button. The first press of the push button displays and starts the chronograph. Pressing again stops the chronograph. The third press resets and blanks the chronograph display. The weather radar can be displayed in all modes except the plan mode. Note, if there is insufficient avionics ventilation, the weather radar will not display in order to prevent overheat of the ND. The full rows modes of ILS, VOR, and NAV, as well as the ARC mode, are displayed in a heading-up orientation. Normal heading display reference is magnetic. A fixed yellow line indicates the current aircraft heading and is an extension of the yellow airplane symbol. The compass display rotates as the aircraft turns. On this frame, you can select the modes on the EFIS control panel to view the heading indicator in each display mode. A green diamond is used to display the aircraft track. It can be compared to the yellow heading to determine your drift angle. A blue triangle is displayed to indicate the selected heading or track. Normally, the selected heading is displayed, but if the bird is on, a blue diamond will display the selected track. Whether the display is for heading or track, if the selected value is off scale in the ARC mode, the display appears in blue numbers until the aircraft turns to bring the triangle within scale. The display range of each mode is controlled by the range selector. The available range selections are shown around the range select switch. The range lines are shown as white lines with blue values to indicate the range for each line. The range selected is related to the diameter in the ROSE modes and to the radius in the ARC mode. Therefore, the maximum forward range of 320 nautical miles would be in the ARC mode. Plan. We'll first describe the plan display, which is normally used before flight to verify your flight plan. The plan display is provided in a true north-up orientation, and the aircraft symbol displays the position of your aircraft in relation to the route. With plan selected and a range of 320 miles selected, you can see quite a bit of your route. The display is centered on the waypoint at line select key 2, the next waypoint. You can step through these waypoints before the flight to verify the route. The range lines are shown as solid white lines with blue values to indicate the range for each line. Finally, take note of the other information on the plan display. The top right shows the next waypoint, the track, distance, and time to that waypoint. ARC. The ARC mode is the most common display you will use. It is similar to the ROSE nav display, but only shows the top 90 degrees of the compass arc. The ARC mode displays the FMGS route, green, and waypoints along the route. The range lines are shown as dashed white lines with blue values to indicate the range for each line. The flight plan waypoints display as green diamonds, except for the 2 waypoint, which is white. A temporary flight plan displays as a dashed yellow line. This is typical during route modifications. A flight plan that is not active displays as a dashed green line. The missed approach procedure displays as a solid blue line. A flight plan to an alternate displays as a dashed blue line. The secondary flight plan is displayed as a white line. The ND does not show a SID or a star except for the last waypoint of the SID and the first waypoint of the star when the range is set to 160 nautical miles or 320 nautical miles. When the aircraft is off the primary flight plan and is flying toward it in the heading mode with the nav mode armed, the ND shows the active flight plan in green if the FMGS has computed the intercept path. The portion of the flight plan previous to the intercept displays with a dashed green line. If the pilot selects the waypoint option on the EFIS control panel, all waypoints other than flight plan waypoints appear in magenta. Optional data displays. The optional data display push buttons allow the pilot to display various navigation aids that are in the FMGS navigational database. The symbols do not require the navigational aid or position to be operative. The symbol represents the geographical position of the option from the FMGS navigation database only. Only one option can be selected at a time. Click each of these push buttons to view the display and to view a pop-up description of each item. A pseudo-waypoint is a waypoint that is a point in space that the aircraft is predicted to reach a selected altitude or speed. This frame displays the various types of pseudo-waypoints. Rose modes. The full compass rose is displayed with the ILS, VOR, and nav displays. When in a rose display, the selected range indicates the total distance across the compass rose. Just refer to the range lines and blue range values at any time. The range lines are shown as dashed white lines with blue values to indicate the range for each line. Rose nav. As in the ARC mode, the Rose Nav mode shows your FMGS route in green along with the waypoints along the route. The next waypoint is displayed in the upper right corner to include the track, distance, and ETA to the waypoint. This is called the to waypoint. Rose VOR. The Rose VOR mode displays a blue lateral deviation bar for tracking a VOR radial. The VOR course is selected on the NAVRAD page of the MCDU. The upper right corner displays the VOR frequency, selected course, and VOR identifier. The green VOR approach message displays when the crew has selected a VOR approach on the MCDU. The green GPS approach appears when the crew has selected a GPS approach. The pilot can also display a white VOR pointer for VOR1 and VOR2. Assume the radios are tuned. Select the VOR position of the VOR selectors to see the display. The method used to tune a VOR is indicated by the letter M, R, or no letter at all. The M indicates a VOR is manually tuned on the FMGC RadNav page. The R indicates a VOR is tuned by a radio management panel. No letter indicates a VOR is auto-tuned by the FMGC. Normally, ILS-1 information displays on PFD-1 and ND-2. Normally, ILS-2 information displays on PFD-2 and ND-1. ROSE ILS. The ROSE ILS mode displays a compass rose with the raw data localizer and glide slope deviation bars in magenta. The ILS frequency information displays magenta along with the ID. The selected course displays in blue. The green ILS approach message appears when the crew has selected ILS approach on the MCDU. To complete our description of the navigation display, this frame shows the various flags and messages that can be displayed on the navigation display. You can click on any flag or message on this screen to read a description of each item. This completes our description of the navigation display. Now let's answer some questions.